Hey everyone, I wanted to go do a quick review of the Baidu trade at this point. I know a lot of you are into this trade and are probably a little bit anxious to understand what's going on. So I hope I can shed some light for you and give you some ideas of what you can do or what might happen. Okay, so you can see here that Baidu, after my post, has headed north and towards the breakout line, and it tried to break out today, but as you can see, it got rejected and it has closed lower. Although very importantly, it's closed above this candle's low and this candle's low. Now, when I present a trade setup for you guys, the most important thing you have to look at and consider is the market condition. Your rate of success will increase dramatically when the market is in a strong uptrend. And that's why I spend so much time, not only because I'm a spread trader on the SPY, but that's why I also spend a lot of time analyzing the SPY, because I want to get a feel for how the entire market or a very broad index of the market is doing. Now, if the SPY is rolling over and I see setups, I'm going to be extra cautious. I'm going to make sure, for example, that when it breaks out above this line, it doesn't pull back by the end of the day. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example of a recent example. If we take a look here at the Twitter chart, which did a very nice breakout today, 6.17% up, maybe 7% intraday. I've been talking about this setup for quite a while, and I had to because the market condition changed. What you see here, when Twitter had its ER, it gapped up, and I said it would gap up and run like AMBA would, but instead it took its time and formed the handle of the cup and handle pattern. And you can see these little humps here that I've drawn are from the hourly chart. And those humps represent an inverse head and shoulder pattern that suggested that this stock would break out around this area. And as you can see, it did try to break out on the subsequent hour or day, but pulled back. And this would be March 6th. And then again, we had a subsequent attempt to break out of this downtrend, and this would be March 9th. So if we compare that with the SPY chart, on March 5th, on March 4th, we had a break of support of the SPY, and on March 5th, we had an attempt to cross back over the line. But on March 6th, the first day Twitter tried to break out, we had a huge red bar, and the market was rolling over here. On March 9th, when it looked like that may have just been a one-day thing and the market attempted to rally, we get Twitter. Let me go back to the daily chart here. We get Twitter showing leadership and attempting to break out again. And as we can see on the SPY, what happened next was a huge gap down on a big down day, and Twitter's breakout failed and it rolled over. Now, the stop on this trade would have been in this area on this candle. So you see the pullback in the market resulted in creating a lower low in Twitter's stock. And that would have knocked people out if they had used this stop. So as you can see, the market condition is essential to the success of a breakout. 75% of the market follows the major indexes, so you don't want to you don't want to go against the odds. To use an analogy, let's pretend you're ready to go on vacation to the Bahamas. You're all set to go. You're in New York, and winter is coming. And on the day that you arrive at the airport, the skies are cloudy. It's snowing hard. There's a blizzard. There's hail. I tell you what, that plane is not going to take you to the Bahamas that day. It's going to have to wait until the conditions are fair skies, low winds, and where it'll be able to take off. The condition is good enough for the plane to take off and you can enjoy your holiday. It's the same with the breakouts. If you're a hedge fund manager ready to throw in $5 million into this stock, you're going to wait. If you see the market rolling over, you're going to wait to find a better time to buy the stock. And if the hedge fund is not buying it, what's going to push that stock up? It's not you. It's not you and your 500 shares or 100 shares or 20 shares. It's going to be the institutions, and they're not going to buy unless they feel there's an urgent need to buy it or when the market is in the right condition. So that's why we had to wait on Twitter several more days here before we got a solid breakout. And if you take a look here, let's see here. On here is March 12th. So let's find March 12th. So here, once March 12th came, you can see again Twitter showing leadership and breaking out of this downtrend line. Then this would create a consolidation zone, but look, it was so healthy, it always stayed near the top of the consolidation zone until the time was right for it to break out. Let's go back to Baidu. It's going to be the same situation. It tried to break out today, and we had a rollover today, breaking this low here, which to me is a little bit of a bearish signal. If you watch my previous SPY video, you know that there are a lot of bearish signals on the chart right now. And this here, resistance, was key, and we wanted to take it today. 3 days since we've made the last high, we wanted to take it today, but clearly we rolled over instead. Now fortunately, we've been rolling over on low volume. Today we've got increased volume, and so I suspect if we continue rolling over, the volume is going to increase as we start hitting more stops. And the same thing with Baidu. It's going to roll over with the market if that happens. Now you can expect it to, if it's ready to break out, you can expect it to hold up very well. Maybe it'll linger here, it'll go down, but it'll hold up really well compared to the market. And when the time is right, it'll pop right back up to the edge here, ready to break out. So if you were eager to get into this breakout and you saw the video and you said, oh my God, I'm going to make 25% here, and you said, I'm going to buy it, and that's fine. I got into the trade here. When this thing broke out, I sent out the message on WeChat, and I went ahead and bought options here. Now, when the options, when we got up to this area in terms of price, those options are up 98%. They've doubled in value. So, in my mind, if we're going to roll over, my options are not going to hang around and increase in value. In fact, they'll lose value over time. So, if we roll over for 10 more days, my options are going to lose value. Even this pullback here, I've lost about 20% of the value of the options. So I'm forced as an option, long option, to sell my position and protect the profits. If you're holding shares, you can do different things here. You can go ahead, find a price point where you're happy to unload your shares and sell covered calls at that point. Or you can scale down and add more shares as we hit the support line here. You can also buy puts, maybe with this strike here, so that if it pulls down, you can hedge your losses by by the profits from the puts. I'm not a big fan of buying puts because going long options is you're paying premium, and those could turn worthless and eat into any potential profits in the future. But they're good downside protection if that's the tool that you like. If you like covered calls, you might not get as much premium, and it might be limited profit, limited hedging. So there are a couple of things you can do, and you can decide what's best for your own situation. You can simply probably, if you wanted to, sell out and then possibly buy back lower here. Now, do we know it's going to go back down lower here? We don't know. It might pull back for 2 days and then bang, back up and through a sudden breakout. Now let's go ahead and take a look here at the SPY chart and kind of do what I guess might happen. You see how we're so close to this 10-day moving average, and we've really sold off on low volume here. So I think we go ahead and plunge below it, possibly to this level, 207.50s, maybe even 207s, and then go ahead and pull back and close above this line. Now that would be a bullish signal that we can continue higher. If we do that on high volume, if we do that, if the volume bar is at this level or higher, we can, maybe assume that the market will continue heading higher. That would be a bounce off of the 10-day. Now if we close below, that would be a bearish signal, because once we close below, it becomes resistance, and it'll try and go back above, and if it fails, we're going to head down lower. That's not to say that if we close above, we can't hit lower, but the odds are, that's a bullish or a bearish signal. You play probabilities in the market. There's no certainties at all, no guarantees anything will happen. So that's, looking at the market, that's a possible scenario. And if that's the scenario, we just get one more day of a down day and then a bounce. You can hold on to these shares and expect it to move higher soon. Now, if we continue rolling over, it's a very good chance that we can get back down here, but you can also expect it to hold up relatively well, just like Twitter did, where it sold off this one big candle, but it recovered quickly and hung around the support area and then broke out. So if you're into Baidu and you're worried what to do, I hope I've given you some ideas and some expectations of what you can do. If you've bought too much, and going down here would really kill your portfolio, and going down even further would really kill your portfolio, maybe shave off some shares and buy back on the breakout. You might have a loss of 2-3% here, but you can make it up when this thing truly breaks out into a a new uptrend. So I hope that kind of explains the situation. Just keep in mind, when there's a trade setup, the market condition is the most important thing. If the market is rolling over, reconsider getting into the trade, unless there's, it's just so much volume and there's so much buying that you want to get in early. And even so, on a bad rolling over market, you might want to scale in smaller quantities. So that's it, and hope that you liked the video. If you want to keep updated with my videos, please click on the subscribe button below, and you'll get notification when I put out new videos.